Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Live from the Hive with me, Katie Bessant. A bit different from the usual podcasts, as today I'm going solo. I've decided to start doing some more solo episodes so I can really get into the nitty gritty subjects and explain things in way more detail than I possibly can in a social media caption or a private message. So if you have any burning questions about marketing your property, whether that's optimizing your listing or using social media to generate bookings, please drop me a message on Instagram or email me on katie@theholidayhive.com. Now, today I'm diving into a topic that might ruffle a few feathers, and that's why you should seriously consider ditching your agent and running your holiday cottage yourself. This is something I talk about a lot with hosts who are frustrated with high fees, a lack of control, or a feeling that they're just not getting the support they deserve, which seems to be the common theme with those who are with an agency at the moment. So if you've ever wondered whether there's a better way to do things, which, spoiler alert, there is, then keep listening. Now, first, let's talk about why so many hosts start out by using an agent or listing site. It's completely understandable. It feels easier. They promise to handle the bookings, the marketing, the admin, and it feels like a safe pair of hands when you're just starting out. And you might think, they're the experts, they know what they're doing. And to be fair, for some people, in some situations, it can work, and it can work really well. But for the majority of people, I see more and more hosts come to me with the same frustration. They're paying out on huge commissions. They don't feel like they have any control over their property. They're not getting the bookings that they want to be, and when they are, they're having to pay that huge commission, and they're just lost amongst thousands of other properties. So let's talk about what you're really giving up when you rely on an agent. Firstly, you lose complete control of your business because this is a business. You lose control of your pricing, you lose control of your branding, and your guest communication. All really, really important things. That's just completely taken out of your hands. You also lose direct access to your guests, which means you can't build relationships, you can't follow up, you can't invite them back. And yes, some of the agencies will have marketing teams and they will have email marketing in place to connect with the guests, but they're going to be promoting also the rest of the thousands of properties they have on their books. They're not just worried about your property. So they're not inviting guests directly to your property. As well as that, you're also handing over a huge percentage of your income. It can be anywhere between 15% to 25% of your income. And for some people, it's even more than that. 25% of your income is a lot. And worst of all, you don't actually get the credit for how amazing your property really is. It just becomes another listing on the website. Your holiday cottage is a small business. It's a brand. It's, for a lot of you, personal passion project. So why let someone else have control of your whole business and be reliant on that? So here's what happens when you start running your property yourself and focus on direct bookings. Instantly, you keep more of your profit, just like that. You get to build a brand around your property, one that connects with people who are a perfect fit for your property. You build relationships with your guests. They come back, they leave reviews, they tell their friends. You can market your property however you like. There's no cookie cutter listing, there's no algorithm burying your best features. You can do what you please to market your property. You can use whatever strategies you like. I've worked with lots of hosts inside my coaching, and again, when they finally take control, they say things like, I feel so empowered. It's my business again. I have so much control. And for a lot of owners as well, you can't even book out your property when you want to. A lot of the big agencies put you in a contract where you can only book 2 weeks a year or 4 weeks a year for your own personal use. So it just feels crazy to me that this is your business, and for a lot of you, it's a holiday home for yourself. You want to use your family and friends, and you can't even book it out yourself, which is mad. So I know, you might be thinking, okay, it's all very well and good, Katie, but I'm not a marketer. I have no idea where to start. I'm already overwhelmed because you talk about all these different things and social media. I'm not a tech person. I get it. This is why I do what I do. That's why I help hosts inside my programs. You don't need a huge Instagram following or this super duper fancy website. You do need a direct booking website, but it doesn't need to be this crazy big thing. You just need a simple strategy. You need to know who your target guest is, and then you just need a few key tools. And that's exactly what I teach. It's not about becoming a full-time marketer. It's about learning how to talk to the people who want to stay with you and encourage them to come and stay with you. I know that all of you are such busy people. Maybe you're doing changeovers and you manage the property yourself, even if you have it listed with someone else. You're still doing the changeovers. Perhaps you are doing the admin and the gardening and the maintenance. And then there's just, daily life on top of that as well. Maybe you've got young kids or grandkids. Perhaps you also run another business too. I know that we're such busy people as hosts. So none of this is encouraging you for this to be your full-time job. It's about making it easy for you and increasing your profits and giving you more control. Because once you start getting those direct bookings and seeing those repeat bookings roll in, you'll never look back. So if this is starting to sound like something you want, if you want more control, more profit, better bookings, here's what I recommend as your next steps. So firstly, define your target guest. This is so important. In my 3-day marketing challenge this week, we did a whole training on it, and all of the hosts inside that challenge are crystal clear now on who their target guest is. It may change throughout the year, throughout the different seasons. So your peak season target guest may be different to your shoulder season target guest. It may be the same. In most cases, in the typical holiday destinations, they are different. So think about who they are. Think about when you want the bookings for. And everything that you do, have them in mind. Your photos. Maybe you are dog friendly. Make sure that you have a dog or something which shows that you are dog friendly in the first photo on your website or your social media, whatever it may be. Just having that target guest in your mind at all times will really, really help your marketing across all channels. No matter what strategy you use, this is the number one. And if you're stuck here, look at your previous reviews, see what people are saying. And also remember that your target guest is often a version of yourself, because you have created this amazing space and you have this property in the area which you love. So they are probably very, very similar people to you. So think about that. The second thing to look at is start collecting guest contact info. So even if you're still using OTAs, which I would encourage you to not have your eggs all in one basket, but I think OTAs can have a place. The bad thing about OTAs is that you don't get, of course, you're paying a commission to them as well, but you're also not getting the guest email address. So that's one of the things I would implement straight away as well, is to add a piece of paper with a QR code in your property, which is a link to a newsletter sign up page. So you are getting their email addresses during their stay, and you will then have control and you can market to them again and again directly as well. You're not relying on algorithms or anything. You can get directly into their inbox. That's a really simple thing you can do. You can create a QR code on Canva and get it set up. The third thing you need to look at is to make your property easy to book directly. Now, this can be a really, really simple website. A lot of the sort of channel managers and things now have website builders as well as the channel manager. So have a little look at those. It doesn't need to be this incredible thing. If you have multiple properties, then yes, have a look at a professionally built website. But for the majority of you who just have one property, I would encourage you just to use one of these channel managers and set up a website from there. Super easy, so people can book directly with you. Then I would set up a simple social media presence. So set up an Instagram and a Facebook page, make sure they're professional pages, and start posting. Think about how your target guest wants to spend their holiday and focus on posting content based around that. And get them hooked in and tell them to go to your website to book. And finally, I would really recommend, this can be a really lonely journey for a lot of hosts. It can be scary with the tech, which I don't think needs to be scary, but I understand that it can feel scary. So I would recommend that you join a community of other hosts so you don't feel like you're doing it alone. And you can bounce ideas off each other and you can see what systems other people are using. It really makes a huge difference. So if you're feeling ready to take back control and move away from agents, or maybe just not having all your eggs in one basket by just using the listing sites, then I've just started to run some free mini strategy sessions. These are 20 to 30 minute strategy sessions where we talk about the challenges that you're having with your business. We map out a bit of a plan together and see if I can help you. I had a call with someone last week, just a 20-minute call. I gave her some action points. We made a bit of a plan. A week later, she messaged me today and she's told me she has 8 new bookings for the autumn, which she was really struggling with the bookings in the autumn, which is a really common problem. The shoulder seasons are always harder to fill. Gave her some pointers. She's had 8 new bookings in a week, which is incredible. She has also had 2,500 views on one of her recent reels after, again, some pointers I told her. So she's getting her property in front of more people too, which is super exciting. So if you want similar results, I'd definitely drop me a message and book in a strategy call. That's it for today. A short and sweet podcast episode. As you know, those of you who have done any of my trainings and things, I don't like to waffle on. I like to get straight to the point and give you actionable advice. So if this episode gave you a little boost of confidence or made you think a bit differently about your holiday rental business, please hit follow, maybe share it with a fellow host. And if you could leave a quick review, that would be amazing. It would help so much.